am a Mocha Mom, and I am back to talk about finally finding something that really works for me with my reluctant writer. I've been homeschooling for a number of years. My son is a sophomore in college now, and I never had these issues with him or his sister, Head Mocha Girl, because they're avid readers. They love to read. And so when you read good literature, I believe it really affects your ability to write kind of intuitively, so that when you put writing in any kind of structure, it's not that hard to grasp the steps. So for them, writing kind of developed very easily, and I never even had a formal program that I was using with them when they were in middle school. I really started using a formal program more so in the upper high school level. But with my daughter, who is 11, she's in 6th grade, she reads really well, but she doesn't like to read. And so she reads things that she's been assigned to read, and she reads when I make her read. And so she hasn't been able to capitalize on that intuitive aspect of it. And the curriculum that I bought this year uses something called IEW, Institute for Writing Excellence, or something like that. I think that it stands for. Honestly, it was just too much, and she bucked against it a lot. And so I went on Facebook on the Heart of Dakota group and found out that a lot of people were using this program called Writing Rhetoric. This is the student. I have the student's guide. This is the student book, and I also have the teacher's manual. And this is book 1. So, you know, I started from the very beginning with her, and I like the fact that this book is using fables, and so she's looking at really short works and building the steps of writing from there. And so I really like the way the book looks. That might not seem like a big deal, but I noticed that my daughter is immediately discouraged, even from seeing a book with nothing but words and everything written closely together, or a lot of small lines for her to fill out. That discourages her. But this book is meant to be, each lesson is meant to be done over a number of days, 3 to 4 days. You can extend it to more than that if you need to. But my daughter is also very interactive, and so the first day we look at the fable, we read the fable together, or she reads the fable to me, and we discuss what the moral of the fable is, and we pretty much break it down to what the author is trying to say. And then the next day, you know, there are some exercises that she does in order to, you know, work more on comprehension. We do some dictation, which is a good skill for her to know for note taking. And she has to answer some questions about the story. And then the 4th day, she does a rewrite of the story. We did The Lion and the Mouse. She had to rewrite the story and take out the lion and make the mouse be the bigger creature and create something else. And I think she chose an ant or something else to make up a story where now the mouse was the one that had to humble himself and see that an ant could help him. And my daughter really enjoyed doing that. Let's talk about the fact that I'm using book 1, and on the back there's a guide to all the different books that they have, and it starts at book 1 and goes all the way up to book 12. And there are also grade guides for what you should use for your student. I chose book 1, but it says here that it's for grades 3 to 4. And one thing I've learned with homeschooling is that even if something is written for a different grade level, you have to choose what works with where you think your student is. And if you choose something younger, it's much easier to beef it up to the level that your child needs than to choose something harder. If I would have chosen book 6, which is for grades 5 to 6, or book 7 for grades 6 to 7, where my daughter actually is, I may not have been quite as successful as I am with her, because I started with book 1. And because this is a specific approach to teaching writing, and one book builds on the other, I thought it would be better to start at book 1, and it really isn't babyish at all. Even though we're doing fables and they're not that long, since she doesn't like to read, I needed to do something not intimidating at all, so that we wouldn't be having a power struggle about, oh, we have to read this long passage. These stories are fun. The lessons still apply even for a 6th grader. One thing I've noticed is when I start at a level that might be too young, I may not have to go as slow as the next book I'm gonna do is book 2. Usually they take off. I don't know, maybe I'll be able to get book 2 and book 3 in, or maybe I won't need them and I can jump to book 8 when she really knows what she's doing. So that's just a little nugget that it took me years and years to learn, that you don't have to do things in order and you don't have to be bound by the grade that the company is advertising. Let me know in the comments down below what writing curriculum you're using, or if you've had struggles with a reluctant writer and what you have done. Writing has not been something that I have enjoyed teaching. I feel like it's really difficult to grade. It's very subjective, but I love to write and I love to read, and writing is an important skill that your child will need.